And now, the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
Hey, good afternoon, good morning, good everything for you. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, which, as I always like to say, is a great coincidence because if my name wasn't Aaron Phillips, the title of the show would mean absolutely nothing. Thank you for tuning in on this Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you make it a safe, fun, enjoyable weekend. Remember, no school, no nothing on Monday, but an extra day to relax and unwind and spend time with everybody around. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you so very much. Also, don't forget, if you like YouTube, that's cool too. We have a YouTube channel there, not only under Aaron's Hour Show, but for WWDB TV. Now, if you want to call in, I got a phone. I know it's working. Hopefully, John paid the phone bill. 702, did you give me the thumbs up? 992-3207, 702-992-3207. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, send those comments in. John gets them. We put them up. They'll be on the screen. Just
if
like
I like them.
If they're good ones. Now, if you're driving around town and you can't watch and drive, at least I hope you're not. If you have an Android, download WWDB TV, the app, to your phone. You can at least listen. If you have an iPhone, WWDB TV LV. Now, if you miss all of that, but you have Roku, download the WWDB TV channel to the network. And not only will you see Aaron's Hour, but you will have a menu full of shows with which to select to watch everything from my show to wrestling to cybersecurity to who knows what else. Doing It with Styles. All those great shows are on there, so you can check that out on Roku. All right. Thank you again for everybody. Listen, if you share the feed to everybody while you're watching, that would be great too. I would love that. All right. My guest in studio today, we're going to chat a little bit, have some fun with my conversations. His name is Frank Parrillo. You may recognize him. Oh, I don't know. He's done a few movies, casting. He's an actor. He's done a lot in the industry, and we'll get to that in a few moments. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So good to have. I feel like I've turned the tables on you for some reason.
I felt the same thing the minute I sat down here. I felt the same thing.
Well, I can't wait for the critique on Tuesday. Anyway, listen, before I get started, you know what time it is. It's time now for Vegas and Rap 2.0.
Oh, yeah?
I hope so.
Yep.
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
All right, here we go. I got there's not a whole lot of news. For some reason, it was a quiet week this week. EDC cleared out, although that makes news all unto itself last week. Tons of professional wrestling in town this weekend. Of course, right now, Saudi Arabia, the WWE has a show going on tomorrow night. AEW's in town, plethora of people, holiday weekend. So hopefully, you get around safe and sound. All right, let's talk about, are you a baseball fan?
I am a big baseball fan.
Who's your team?
New York Yankees.
There you go. See, I knew I liked you for a lot more reasons. But you've heard a little rumor that a team from California is moving to Vegas, right?
The Oakland
A's. So there's been talk. You've been following it. They have found a spot over here. They found a spot over there. They want $700 million. This and that. First of all, I don't like the location on the strip. Why they're not building down or up towards the raceway, right?
Right. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, like I always say, it's 7 o'clock first pitch, 5 o'clock people are trying to get home. You get off Tropicana. No, you're not getting off Tropicana that easy for everybody who wants to get to the ballpark early.
Baseball's not like football. It's played almost every single day.
Right. 82 games at home.
Yeah,
right?
so, yeah.
Or 81. 162 divided by 2. Yeah, I teach math.
Yeah.
81 games at home. And I have a degree in it, too. That's the sad part. So they now found a place, because at first it was going to be where Excalibur. Why am I blanking?
Tropicana.
That's where it is now.
The Wild West.
Yeah, Wild West, right. On the other side of the highway, and the $700 million bond or $500 million bond they wanted, whatever. All right, so now there's apparently 35 acres on the corner of Tropicana and Las Vegas Boulevard, where the Trop is. I didn't realize there was much land back there because the airport's right behind them.
Right, it's right behind them.
That's a lot of acres. Well, apparently the organization that owns the land is willing to give up 9 acres, starting right on the strip corner there. And they reduced the amount of bond from about $550 million from the original site. Now they're getting a discount. They're only asking for about $360 million in the bond. Okay. Payoff amounts and all sorts of other stuff. John, can you throw that picture up? So here was a rendering of what the area is going to look like there. The top picture, you see obviously more of an aerial shot, but the bottom picture, you see the MGM right there. That's on the north east corner, right across the street from what would be the Tropicana, which obviously is going to be torn down. It's going to be a dome stadium. I actually have the information on here. Let's see. They're giving it for free. Check that. The gaming and leisure properties will provide 9 of the 35 acres of the Tropicana site to the A's for free. The club hopes to construct a 30,000-seat stadium with a retractable roof, which obviously makes sense here, to open for the 2027 season. So that's still, 3 years away, if my math is right, more or less, 4 years away?
Yeah, 3 years.
Getting better with this math thing.
3 seasons away.
3 seasons away, exactly right. Once the construction is complete, the ownership of the land will then transfer to the Las Vegas Stadium Authority, which also happens to own now the Allegiant Stadium. Okay, so the renderings are great, but I just don't like where they're. Everybody says the Allegiant Stadium is on the Strip. I don't know. You need to go back to a better map if you think Allegiant Stadium's on the Strip.
That's true.
It's near the Strip.
It's near the Strip,
right on the side road there. But Allegiant Stadium, you got T-Mobile. Now, fortunately, football and baseball, unless the A's miraculously get into the playoffs and they play into end of October, November, you're really not going to see much congestion between football and baseball.
Right, that's true.
And with the A's drawing about 2,300 people now in Oakland, it's the fact of them even getting into the playoffs won't exist, in my opinion, for years down the line. But think about that. You could have hockey, which starts in October.
Yes.
Football,
yes,
playing that time. Baseball could be wrapping up for that whole area would be a big cluster, what.
Yes.
I would not want to be
it
around
already
there.
Is.
It is, right. And, of course, with the construction, right, I think I'm a firm believer that they did all the construction on Trop and 15 over there because they knew the A's were coming to handle the Trop. You think?
I don't know.
They did a ton of work there. They're still doing work there.
We have so much space out there. Why do you pick this one place on the Strip that's just going to cause so much misery?
Absolutely.
And then if the team's bad, nobody's going to like it.
Exactly.
But you want to tell me one of those things about the A's?
Yes.
The A's are one of those teams that always look real bad, and all of a sudden, one season or 2 seasons, they'll pop up and they'll have this amazing run.
As we saw in the movie Moneyball.
Right.
Which depicted that exactly right when they went on the 21 or 23 game win streak.
Right.
And they got into the playoffs. Billy Beane does as good a job as you can with as little money as possible.
Yeah, he does.
And he just doesn't get the recognition for it because, again, the stadium gets nobody to show up because of how bad. I think I saw their record. They're like 14 and 30 something this year. At this point, the fans out there probably want them to go.
Right.
But Oakland has had a franchise, since the late 60s. I remember growing up.
Right.
Oakland and the Mets.
1968, it transferred from Kansas City to Oakland.
There you go. So, see, I was only 4 years old when that happened, and I got close to it, right? But I remember I think it was 73, right? Mets and A's were in the World Series and all of that. You had the Sal Bando, you had all these guys. There's a lot of history with it. Reggie Jackson, right? He helped our Yankees win a lot of games,
he did,
right? He came from Oakland.
He did.
Actually, was it Oakland?
He came from Kansas City, then to Oakland.
Right, but then Baltimore was in there, I think.
He went from Oakland to New York.
Okay, then he went to Baltimore afterwards.
Too.
Right. Oh, Catfish, number 29.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
I told you I was a Yankees fan.
I know. I love it. I hate to say it. Growing up as a kid, my grandfather, may he rest in peace, loved the Mets. He was a huge Mets fan. And from that late 60s, early 70s, I could probably name more Mets from that era than I can the Yankees. But then I saw the Yankees play the Big Red Machine.
Mm-hmm.
And
76.
Right. And my dad was a huge Yankee fan. And that's, I have to admit, kind of when I started switching my allegiances.
Right.
But I always kept an eye on the Mets because of my grandfather,
Right.
And, of course, my buddy Ricky upstairs was a big Mets fan. And so that's what guided our friendship. He was a Yankees fan. I'm a Yankees. He's a Mets. He's Jets. I'm Giants. So you can imagine the talks we had.
Now, the A's started off in Philadelphia.
Yes.
Moved to Kansas City. Right. That's exactly right.
See?
Moved over to Kansas City.
Right.
Now over to Oakland. Now it looks like they're going to land in Las Vegas.
Right.
Now, the best part of all of this is that means they're at least going to face the Yankees here for 3 days a year.
Right, exactly. But I got to tell you, it's interesting. The Giants football, they're coming out to play the Raiders this year, and I'm a huge Giants fan. And there's the historical perspective of Raiders fans not exactly being the most couth people out there. To go in wearing a Yankee or Giants jersey or T-shirt.
Send your cards and letters.
Exactly. Sorry, Oakland. Sorry, Raider Nation. Sorry, George. So the fear I have literally, because, we hear all the story. I mean, look, did you see the clip that there were Yankee fans fighting each other earlier this week after a ball game that the Yankees won? Yankee fans, they were fighting amongst themselves after the game. So you go into the stadium as a visiting fan, right? I don't want to risk getting bombarded and having my shirt ripped off or having shit thrown at me. I got a nice 60-inch wide color TV at home, no bathroom lines. I can get food when I want to.
It's not going to be a problem with the A's.
That's true. It'll probably have more. It'll have only Yankee fans.
Yeah,
Now, here's something else that really hasn't been talked about. When the Oakland Athletics come here, of course, the Aviators are the AAA team for the Athletics. No other team in baseball has their AAA team in the same city, let alone within an Uber's ride of each other.
Right, exactly.
Right? So if a pitcher gets hurt in the first inning, hey, John, grab an Uber. We need you for the fifth inning, and all of a sudden Uber pulls up. So I think baseball has to look at that as a huge advantage that they're going to have to change. I would imagine the Aviators would have to change affiliation per Major League. I would think, because I can't imagine it staying that way when they actually move here to start playing. Right. Listen, Major League Baseball, I could be fooled. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, I mean, look, Vegas has been entertainment capital of the world, right? It's been, and as I learned earlier this morning, as I was recording some demo stuff for somebody else, we're also the wedding capital of the world, especially around Valentine's Day. But would you think that maybe Vegas is more of a sports capital now than entertainment? Or do you think entertainment is still
entertainment's still up?
Okay. Yeah. Do you think the sports is part of entertainment?
It is.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just amazing, what we have in this town that, first of all, I thought hockey in the desert. When I moved here, we had the Wranglers. I don't know if you were in town, right? Remember?
Yes.
Season tickets for a family of 4 for my wife and I, my kids, was like $50.
Right.
Now you can't get $50 to get into the freaking parking lot, right?
That's what a hot dog costs.
That's for the hot dog. Right. And there ain't no gold in that hot dog either, folks. So now, ECHL, of course, before them was the Thunder.
Right.
If people will remember that. I used to love going to the games. And I go to nice games, quite frankly, when tickets are available from friends that can't go.
You know what the Thunder was really good for?
What's that?
Fighting.
Did they do a lot of fights?
They did a lot of fighting. My family and I used to go just for the fight.
I went to a hockey game. I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Right? It's good. But now, people who don't relate to this, they come to Vegas to see a game for their team. They're the visiting team, right? The opening stuff that the Knights put on is typical Vegas, right? Hey, I went to see an entertainment show in Vegas and a hockey game broke out.
Right.
I mean, the glitz and glamour, you'd expect nothing else from Vegas anyway. But it's just interesting how we have, 2.5 million, 2.6 people here, whatever it is. And I think we're really a melting pot city because of where everybody's coming from.
Yeah, absolutely.
Roots. I think maybe 1 in 500, 1,000 people I meet are native.
Right.
I don't know if that's high or not, but it's far and few between. But it's just interesting how Vegas now, thankfully, I think, is getting more known for other things than just the gambling.
Right. It's diversifying.
Exactly. That's what I was looking for.
If the movie studio comes in.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
I have that on the agenda.
I'm not gonna jump that.
No. I'm glad you did, because for those who don't know, listen, we have a film authority here because companies do come here to shoot. I mean, you know that better than anybody. I'm preaching to the choir with Frank. By the way, Frank's my acting coach too, by the way, which we'll get to that in a bit. But they have the film authority. So I know that that's here. Companies do come here to film. As a matter of fact, someone that John and I know together, Tema Hammond, she had a studio here for years as well. But that's going to change a lot as well, having those studios here. And I can't wait to talk about that as well. But there's a lot of stuff going on in Vegas. It's not just the heat, folks. Yeah, it gets hot here a couple of months out of the year. Big whoop-de-doo. That's why we have air conditioning and wet pools, folks. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, let's move on, because I do have a winner to announce. I always love to share when people win money, but I got to remind everybody, Vegas was not built on winners. Remember that, okay? All these casinos were not built simply because everybody was coming in and winning. There are a few people that have left some money behind, but not in this case. Here we have a guest who stayed at the Venetian Resort this past weekend on Ultimate Texas Hold'em. Okay, I don't play much of this stuff. They won a progressive jackpot. Want to take a guess how much they might have won? Fair shot.
500,000.
Oh, not bad. $435,000. This person got a royal flush in clubs. Now, my thing with, let's see, what did he do? Royal flush made a $5 side bet, which made the hand eligible to win the major tier for this progressive. I was, like when I sold timeshare, people always say, "Oh, I travel for free. I get my stuff here. I stay at a hotel for free." I'm like, "Do you come to Vegas often?" "Oh yeah, we come all the time. I gamble a lot." I said, "Ma'am or sir, you know you prepaid for those rooms, right?" They're like, "Huh? Yeah, well, yeah." How much people spend before they win that kind of jackpot?
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Sometimes people get lucky,
Quite a bit.
but how many times I read these stories and it's like, "Oh, here's a $2 bet and I won $1 gazillion." But how much have you spent to get to that point?
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
that's always part of the story.
Yeah, so it was always part of the story, but nobody likes to talk about that.
No,
stuff.
exactly. Like, can't you take gambling losses though on your taxes or
You can,
something?
yeah.
So maybe it's worth losing.
No, it's not, because it still moves you into the higher tax bracket,
Even if you lose,
even if you lose,
because they expendable money.
Right, you can deduct it, but you still moved into the higher tax bracket.
God Almighty. Mr. Producer, I'm just curious. I'm pulling up my Aaron's Hour Show Facebook page, and I don't see the feed. I want to make sure we're on the right page. So if you can just verify that, if you can verify that. However, so every once in a while, he's got so many different shows to pitch up there. I see it up there, Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, but I'm not seeing it on my Facebook page.
You should now.
The help you get for what you paid for around here, Frank. You know what I'm saying? All right. So here's another one. You got to remember growing up, roller derby.
Right. Yeah. absolutely.
WOR TV.
Got up early for it.
Right?
every
WWOR
Saturday.
TV. There was the bank track and people, it was wrestling on wheels. You know, powder being dumped on everybody, people flying off the rails. Well, guess what? Roller derby is returning to Las Vegas. Tryouts are happening through the end of May. Now, this is an organization called the Las Vegas High Rollers Roller Derby League. It's a women's league. Okay. So be aware that tryouts are being held right now from the 26th through the 30th. You can search for the Las Vegas High Rollers Roller Derby organization. Multiple teams are being put together. They want to play here in Vegas as well as California. So they're really looking to build this because, you know, it's another sport that the youngers don't know anything about.
Right.
Right?
That's really true.
Could you imagine we have roller derby now? Jeez. Yes, sir, John. Turn your mic on when you talk to us, please.
You used to have a show somewhere else a long time ago.
I know. I know.
Didn't we have
Yep.
one of the women that
One of the original roller derby queens.
Yeah.
McCoy.
Yeah,
Cindy McCoy.
I gotta find that. So I'm
She was-
excited about this. I love roller derby.
I know.
When I was growing up, man, we went, the Thunderbirds.
Right.
That was our team, man.
Did you skate at all? I mean, roller skated? in any way,
No,
shape?
not really. roller
Never went to the
skating.
rink or
I
anything?
did. I mean, on occasion.
Right.
You know.
Thank God the walls were there. That's how I stopped. They're a great source to stop, I'll tell you that much.
I just never let go of them, so I
That's-
had that problem.
It's a guide rail for Frank and anybody else. Cindy McCoy was her name, and John, I believe at the time she lived up in Pahrump.
Yeah.
And I know I'm connected with her on Facebook. It's been a while, but
Let's find her.
where I came up with her name out of the blue like that. God only knows. And she wrote a book too, didn't she?
Yeah, and she was she was one of the youngest players when she started, was
Right.
she not?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And they went down to Australia. I remember the stories that she was talking
Yeah.
about in Australia. Yeah, she was. We got to get her back. She was awesome.
She was a lot. It was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
To talk
Yeah.
about her with that and hear her
You know what
reminisce.
got kids in our days interested in roller derby?
What's that?
So we get up early to watch the Saturday cartoons, remember? Because that was the only day you could watch them.
Right.
And so if you got up early, that one, there was always TV went off at night.
Right.
So you had that flag thing about 2:00 in the morning, and then the first thing to come
National
on,
anthem.
the national anthem would
Right.
come. Right. Then in the first thing in the morning would always be that roller derby
That's
show.
right. That's very true. That's very true. The things that kids miss, they don't realize
They don't know
what they've missed. That's for sure. A lot of good stuff. All right, last piece, and I'm sure you saw the news, and I don't know if you had any interaction with this person. And after what happened on the Boss Can Anywhere show, I'm really afraid to go down this river again. But Tina Turner passed away this week at 83.
She did.
She
I didn't have
was-
anything to do with it.
I didn't say anything to do with it. Did you ever come across meet with her all your years in entertainment? Did you ever cross paths with her?
I never crossed paths with her.
Okay.
I had the utmost respect for her, though. She was a powerhouse.
Yeah. I mean, her early story is just crazy. John, I just saw the feed come up on Aaron Phillips, The Voice, not Aaron Phillips Hour.
Yes, I know.
Okay, because it's still not coming up on the Hour page.
Well, it is here.
All right, if you say so. Anyway,
I say so.
she had been sick. She had
Yes.
cancer. She had all sorts of
Yes.
stuff.
For a very long time.
Yeah,
People didn't realize.
she moved to Switzerland back in the late 90s and for healthcare and things like that. Oh, who said it? What I think you said it, or personal. I see it. Personal assisted. When you want to take your own life, what am I missing?
When the doctor helps you die.
Yeah, and it's legal there apparently.
Yeah,
Assisted
suicide.
Thank you.
Yeah, assisted suicide, yeah.
In Europe.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apparently Switzerland, has that you can have assisted, deaths. And I guess that's one of the reasons. But according to a report that came out today that I saw, quote unquote, she died of natural causes.
Right.
Could it have been from being aided? Because if you have cancer through your body or whatever she had at the time, you're not dying of necessarily natural causes without cancer being involved somewhere.
Right.
So again, a great legend, Ike and Tina Turner from the 60s, early 70s. Her history is well known about the issues she had with Ike, because Ike realized that she was going to take off and be successful, and he wanted to continue controlling her, apparently.
It's a good thing she outlived him.
Yes, sir. What? All right, I see that, but you have it on 2? Do I have more than one channel?
Okay, so Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips.
That's me.
Okay.
That's this show.
Aaron's Phillips, the voice.
Oh, I thought we were going to stop that one.
Aaron's Hour show.
Go back to the first one. This is what happens when you're on a live show, folks. Aaron's over there. Okay.
Right? There's one. So you don't want that one. No more on that one. Okay, you're out of here. All right.
Aaron's Hour show, where I'm standing with the 2 cheerleaders. That's the page it should be on. The one that's right there.
That's
There
right
you
here.
go. Well, I
That's
don't know
this
why
one
I'm not
right here.
seeing it. Anyway, I am showing very uncouth professionalism to a very professional guy.
Hey, I'm leaving.
Get out of here.
I think I'm leaving too.
That's it. You know what? I'm leaving too. Just leave the TV on for everybody. All right, with that, you're watching Aaron's Hour. When we come back, we're going to get a little more serial with Frank. Talk about his school.
Wait, are we going to a commercial?
In about 5 seconds, yes. We're going to talk about his school. We're going to talk about some of his history, what he does, and it's good stuff, folks, because you know what? You want a true professional. I got lucky to be introduced to this man. You're watching Aaron's Hour. We'll be back.
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
Alrighty then, welcome back to Aaron's Hour. I'm Aaron Phillips, sitting in with a much more professional guy than me this morning so far, Mr. Frank Parrillo. Listen, his resume includes producing, acting, directing, screenwriting, editing, cinematography, casting, and an acting coach, and putting up with me on this show, Mr. Frank Parrillo. Good to have you.
I'm really glad to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Listen, I kind of let the cat out of the bag, but Nicole Vegas, who we all know, who now does a show here on this network, she was involved in a movie earlier this year, and I had her on as a guest, and we talked a little bit about me getting involved in the acting side of it, because I want to expand my abilities, and B, I've had the itch to do stuff in front, and I don't consider this in front of the camera, but I mean it is, but not what I was thinking about, but everything from like improv comedy to acting and doing some more serious stuff. And Nicole said, she says, listen, why don't you reach out to the gentleman who I know, Frank Parrillo, and, he's a great teacher and everything. I said, okay. So I think before I actually called you or reached out the first time, I think like a couple of weeks went by, because I'm like, I'm calling a professional acting coach. Am I really sure about this? And we hit it off. I thought we hit it off well that first time when I came out.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I enjoyed that.
You got a great personality.
Well, don't tell anybody, it ruins my reputation. Hi, Jennifer, out in Hawaii. And I appreciate it. I was very humbled by that. I've been doing this for over 17 years, and I work hard at what I do. And I've always taken compliments humbly, because I do what I do because I enjoy it. Right. And I'm glad people get the benefits of it. Even if I have to put up with guys like John, that's the cross we bear.
We all have that Achilles.
We do. But I was so jazzed when I left your studio because of something of what you said, but how I am not moldable, but how I listen to instruction and can take it and do better. And that really gave me goosebumps as I was walking out, hearing that from a professional like you, because I have no professional training to do what I do. I'm all self-taught, which maybe
It shows.
explains a lot. I know I was waiting for John to kick in, but I was so jazzed with that. And I went on to my wife that night. I said, "Why?" I said, "Eileen," I said, "I got to do this." I said, "What Frank said to me that day, and the fact that we do one-on-one classes, I do one-on-one with you, not in your group classes." No. And I told my wife, I said, that says a lot to me about what he sees the potential in me, that you want to take me on one-on-one. So I appreciate that. No. I really do. So let's talk about that. You've been obviously a long resume and all that sort of stuff. And we can get into some of those projects later, but talk about why you started the school in the first place. Why did you want to teach people how to act? And I'll use that word loosely.
It's funny because actually I really got film with my dad.
Okay.
My dad loved film and television. He worked in the business. As a PA, he's one of those guys. Remember in the old days, you had to hold up a card.
The cue cards.
Yeah, that's what my dad did it.
Oh, really?
He did it for the Hollywood Squares.
Oh, I love that game. Pull in for the block, please.
Right.
I love that.
So he did that for a while.
Okay.
But he really loved camera. When we were kids, he had a camera. He shoot it. And then when I was about 10 or 11, we had a big backyard. So he said, well, if you build a set, I'll come and shoot the movie. You guys have to just improv whatever you're doing. And so, I mean, they were really bad. We used that red stuff that they use for as antiseptic in the day. Do you remember?
Mercurochrome.
Yeah, for blood.
You owe me a beer.
And I didn't really have a love for it. He showed me, how to splice film. He showed me how to run it when I was really little. I didn't have a lot of love for it. I did like building the sets. I did like being part of that. Mm-hmm. Then high school came. I got a chance. I took an acting class. I took a stage class. And then I fell in love with stage because you get the immediate accolades. Right. You don't have to wait for it to come out.
Sure.
And I did that. I stayed involved in just doing plays and stuff like that. Went into the military for a while. Mm-hmm. Forgot all that. Had a family. And then decided that I was going to follow my passion.
Okay.
Something I always want to do. And it was really weird because I was watching like those behind the scene cuts on a movie with Jackie Chan.
Okay.
And I'm watching it and I'm like, no. That's what I got to do. That's my passion. I want to be pulled through a styrofoam wall. That's what I want to do.
No, that's not styrofoam. We can't try it here in the studio.
But it's a wonderful thing, I think, for anybody who's in any field to find the passion that they love in life,
right.
And teaching people anything because
right.
we both substitute at Clark County,
right?
And so I have just as much passion when I go there for the
sure.
kids as I do when I'm teaching acting. But when you're teaching acting, everybody who's there wants to be there,
right? And
what happens is you're seeing in them that this is their dream. You see that in what was in you when you were younger, mm-hmm. coming through in them.
Right.
And the love I have of wanting to bring that out, make that possible is really why I do it. I know that sounds
cliche-ish.
Not
for
cliche,
some.
Kind of mushy. I don't know what the word is.
No, I
soft, like heart, but it's true.
Heartwarming, heartfelt.
Yeah.
Yes, I got you. No, I've always told my wife, and I do events, and you know this. I MC events, and I do everything that I do wherever there's one of these right. is where I want to find myself. But I made a promise to my wife that the day that I wake up, even coming in to do my shows, that I don't get those excited butterflies.
Right, exactly.
That's the day I know it's time to hang up the microphone. Even coming in every Saturday and Thursday night and the days I do my shows or whatever, it's like I still get that anticipation for the show.
Right. Now, one thing I love when you're coming in, because I know you always come so excited.
That's true.
And you bring this intellectual side of you too. It's like, I don't want to know just how to act.
Right.
I want to know why.
Right.
I want to know what drives this whole thing. And I love that part of you.
I think that comes from my math degree. I mean, I know 1 and 1 is 2,
right?
But I want to understand why.
Right.
Growing up as a kid, you ask your parents if you can do something, and they say no. What's our answer? Why? What do they give us back? Because. That never satisfied me. Right. Tell me I was an idiot for some reason. You're not letting me do it. I'll accept, right? So and I appreciate that because I want to understand. I don't want to be a robot. that's why I like what I do, because I don't script anything here. It's all free form, as we're just chatting is really what it is. And I'm doing this around just having fun. And so taking that and wanting to like I'll bug John all the time. Why are we doing this? Why can't we do that? Et cetera, because I just want to understand and learn. And that's why coming into, I'm like a sponge. You see me, I got notes, folks, from my classes with him. I mean, I think I've captured word for word he's ever said in a class with me. You know, everything from method acting to protagonist, antagonist. Now my wife hates me, by the way. She may be starting to hate you.
Yeah,
because
we're ruining the movies now, right?
I'll tell you that. Hey, man, look, that's the protagonist right there. Here's why, you know. But no, and I appreciate that, because I want to understand. I don't want to just do it. There's no satisfaction in that.
Right.
So, but no, and I could tell in your style of wanting to educate, and I know this, and I appreciate it. You teach that way.
I do.
You teach and wanting your students to understand the whys.
Yes, I do.
More than just, it's like you go to, have you ever gone to Outback Steakhouse?
Mm-hmm.
You ever gotten the bloomin' onion? You got to peel back the onion?
Yeah.
Right? That's what you do in your
Right.
class. You're peeling back a sentence, a line, a scene for the actor to understand why.
Right.
And look at things in a very different perspective. And that's what I like. That's why I come to jazz, because I want to learn.
Right.
You know, how many students? First you started off with One Media Production, right? That was the original name of the company. Am I right in that?
No.
If I'm
I
reading it correctly?
originally started off with Hollywood Bound Acting Academy.
Oh, okay.
And then we transferred that into One Media
Okay.
Productions.
Gotcha.
And then as One Media Productions, we got involved in making a lot of productions, but we still kept the acting school on the side.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have Hollywood Bound Acting Academy and One Media being one thing. So we kind of just incorporated them both.
Now it's Dream Tracks.
It is Dream Tracks.
Where did that name come from? How'd you derive that?
Because when we were talking about it, my partners and I, we were talking about what are the two things that people have here. Well, they're on a path to success,
Right.
And it comes through a dream that they've always had.
Mhm.
So we just kind of put those two words together
Mhm.
and came up with Dream Tracks.
One of the things that I'd always wanted to try is improv comedy, because I'm a reactor. I call myself I'm like a reactive comic, because my wife and I will be watching TV, something will happen, I'll just turn and make a stupid line that's funny as all get out. I can't write a set. I just don't think that way. Now, if somebody writes it for me, I could probably deliver it. So improv comedy is what kind of got me thinking about wanting to do stuff in front, because all what I do here is off the cuff comedy anyway. In a way, it's entertainment. But that's what kind of piqued the interest. And then I realized I wanted more out of it, because I think there's a lot of energy that you can put out and satisfy yourself as a person,
Right.
where you can take these different roles and be different people, different
Right.
scenarios.
Right.
You know, how do you approach it when somebody is struggling with understanding the roles of an actor?
Well, that's probably one of the toughest things that people come across, is understanding your role as an actor.
Sure.
We usually, if you're really struggling with that, we usually kind of just start really breaking the scene down
Okay.
more and more and more and more.
Okay.
A lot of times actors want to approach a scene from the perspective of, how do I say this line? How do I do this? How do I react to this? But if you really want to be grounded in your profession, you've got to really understand, what is the scene for?
Right.
Why is the scene even here?
Right.
Sometimes it's hard to answer that question because you don't know the rest of the movie.
Right.
What do these two people want from each other? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Who is the writer focusing on in this scene?
Mhm.
All right. So am I here to support the story to move along, or am I leading the
Right.
story somewhere?
Right.
And you take all that stuff and you just process it, and you understand that acting is really about the story,
Mhm.
not about that actor, not about you. You're not going in there to take over the
steal the
scene.
show.
Right, exactly.
Right.
You're like painting.
Mhm.
Your stroke in the art.
Right.
But it matters. Your stroke matters,
Right.
because you would look stupid if you weren't there. So
That's true. Here's a scene. Who am I talking to?
Yeah.
Nobody.
that's right. So
Have you ever, I'm sure you had to come across this. What's it like to tell somebody who starts in the school, maybe after a couple of classes, you go back to your office and just go, that guy Aaron, he ain't getting this. It's just a waste of time, et cetera. How do you approach that?
I never do.
You've never asked somebody, you've never said to somebody, look, I don't think this is for you. And
Never said it.
really?
Nope.
Now, so do those students eventually get it
Mhm.
and can move forward in some direction?
Yeah. Sometimes they become some of your best actors.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Because the thing is, we all have these walls that we built up emotionally.
Right.
And I don't think what somebody is they can't learn this. It's just they're going to take them longer to break down those walls and be
Gotcha.
more vulnerable.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes sense. It's just interesting because I look at certain people, and I think I shared this with you. Not growing up, but when I first watched Roseanne, Dan Goodman, John Goodman.
Mm-hmm.
No, he wasn't exactly the most physical fit guy as he is now. I think he's a little too thin right now, but that's just my opinion. And at that time, I was 300 pounds myself, and I said, well, look at that guy. He's funny. He's not cut out of marble like some of these, Hollywood stars are. Well, maybe I got a chance. And then I read the story about Morgan Freeman. He was 58 when he got his really big first break between Shawshank and then Driving Miss Daisy, and now he's God and all that. And now you hear his voice and just better. Thanks for stealing my jobs, by the way. You hear his voice on many commercials, things like that. So I looked at that and said, well, obviously age is not a barrier, No. And it was just those two things that kind of, for me, just kind of kept me going.
And the great thing about the business right now, I think that a lot of people should be looking at is that it's at its most diverse it's ever been. Mm-hmm. It's more welcoming of different looks, different sizes.
Diversity.
The diversity is really, really there, and to give out opportunities. And not only that, when you and I growing up, there was limited choices. You had to make it with a few networks, or you had to make it with a few studios. Right. But now there's streaming and YouTube and
so many platforms
that you can be on.
There's WWDB-TV.
There's WWDB-TV.
No, DBTV.
Oh, DBTV. Sorry.
Worldwide Digital Broadcast. I'll learn you, don't worry.
Yeah, all right.
But acting's tough.
It is tough.
I mean, there's still got to be cases that the wannabe actor or actress who's waiting tables in California, waiting for that big break. Is that more commonplace? And those individuals, are they taking classes through college to do what they do? What separates them from somebody else who, let's say, come to you like me to possibly break into some roles or get into the action?
I'm not sure I answered that.
Well, okay. So I'm not a starving artist, thank God, because I have my household, my wife, etc.
Right.
So I'm in a position where I'm able to say, all right, Frank, I want to do some stuff on my own, but I'm not starving.
Right.
But then you have the stories of actors and actresses before they got the big break. They were waiting tables, they were cooking, and there's nothing wrong with that because you have to do what you have to do. So I'm not minimizing that.
No.
But that's a different pathway than what I'm hoping may work out for me.
Right.
So there's got to be still a ton of people trying to get into acting that are still that old school of waiting tables 12 hours a day. Then I got to run for an audition, rehearsal, and hope I get it.
Well, with the end of COVID, with the onset of COVID and the end of COVID, a lot of things have gone digital.
Okay, that's true. Yeah.
So that takes a lot of pressure off of people having to run down to the casting office and get seen. I don't know that it's going to be completely gone, but at least for now it is. So you can shoot it somewhere, you can send it in, you can edit it, you can make sure that you got what you wanted, you can take any flubs out, you can if you don't like it, you can redo it.
Right.
But no, I think for the most part, a lot of actors are Ubering. They're doing the waitressing at night or the waitering at night. Okay. They're doing different things like that. So they're available for the callbacks. But absolutely, I have a young man that was with me. His name is Jalen Thomas Brooks. He's now on Walker.
Oh, okay.
He's got a movie coming out this year, I think right around Halloween, called Happy Thanksgiving. And it's not so happy. But I hope I didn't let the cat out of the bag with that.
No.
But
you said it now. We can't take it back.
He told me on a show where I interviewed him, he talked about, his mom and would they go down there, and eventually they wouldn't have money for a hotel. Right. So they would drive out of the valley a little bit. Right. They'd just have to sleep. I don't know if I'm stepping on anybody's toes here, but they had to make means. You had to do what you do because if you got the call back, and it's a big guess, you don't know if you're going to get that call back. So you're literally taking that opportunity. And you're believing in yourself, you're investing in yourself, and then it happens, Right. And it paid off for it.
Well, there you go. See, so it can happen. Before we go to break, now's the time of the show where I'm going to throw some curveball questions at you. All right.
I'm ready.
First thing that comes to mind: no thinking, no calling a lifeline, none of that. Yeah, none of that. So there'll be softballs right down the party.
Okay, good.
Who's your favorite actor of all time?
John Wayne.
Favorite actress of all time?
Katharine Hepburn.
I was going to say Katharine Hepburn. I get that a lot. Now, the next question, I'm going to put a little disclaimer out there. You cannot give me the answer of any of the shows or movies that you've worked on personally. They're out of there.
That's
okay. Mm-hmm. Favorite movie of all time, so that when it comes on, you're turning your phone off, you're popping popcorn, grabbing your favorite beverage, people to watch it with. What movie is it?
Rio Bravo.
John Wayne.
Yes.
No surprise there. Yeah. Sometimes you can connect the dots, folks. Favorite genre of music?
Ska.
Excuse me?
Ska.
John, have you heard of ska?
SKA, yeah.
That worries me that John knows that too.
Ska, kind
I've
of
been
like
around.
That's a show for another topic.
new wave, closer to it.
Okay.
Getting closer to punk
Gotcha.
with ska, but not quite to punk.
Okay. How did you fall into that genre? What is it about that genre that you enjoy?
Just the sound.
Okay.
You know, I was in high school. That was kind of the music that was kind of getting pushed out there.
Okay.
You had the Ramones,
Right.
the Misfits, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then, but punk had those mosh pits.
Right.
So if you didn't want to
Did
be,
you ever be in a mosh pit?
no, I didn't want to be in a mosh pit. That's why I said, okay, I want to back this up a little bit.
That's right. Let me rethink this.
Right. So, you know, I love The Cure.
Sure.
A lot of people.
Okay.
I'm going to let you ask questions here instead of just answering.
What's that?
I was just going to answer questions you haven't asked. I'm going to read your mind.
No, go ahead. What am I thinking next?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'll
So
pause you at it.
he doesn't have ESPN, folks. He can't think of what
No,
I'm
I
thinking.
don't.
So you're in your car. You're driving up to a red light. Favorite song comes on the radio so that you're just bebopping in the car. You don't care what other people are looking at. You don't really care. What song is that you're enjoying?
Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen.
Okay. He says so. No, okay. What is it about that? So you're bebopping in the car. You're singing to it, and everybody's watching.
Well, when we're in ska and stuff, we don't want to really bebop too much.
Well, you know what I mean.
we don't
He's in
really-
his car doing his own mosh pit, folks.
Yes.
No, why? But you know what I'm saying? You're singing to the song.
I'm just
You're-
destroying the interior of the car.
Oh, I sing in the shower. That's the only place that's got the acoustics to handle my voice. All right. Favorite meal, top to bottom, appetizer through dessert is what?
Pizza, pumpkin pie, and I usually just drink water.
Okay. All right. On that note, we're going to step aside for our break a little early because I got a few more questions. Plus, I'm going to get into more of what Frank offers as far as his knowledge, his experience, the school, and how people can reach out to him. You're watching Aaron's Hour. I hope we'll be right back. I got 20 minutes left.
Avengers, I want you all to check out Aaron's Hour. It is Saturdays from 12 p.m. with the voice himself, Aaron Phillips. Of course, he's got the full support of, well, the Las Vegas Avengers, the Empire, and of course, all you heroes out.
Hey, everybody. I am Aaron Phillips. You are.
I'm Governor Val Brown Klingelhofer.
And we host what kind of show?
We host the most fabulous show on this network you've ever seen. It's all about Kiwanis and what's going on in our different cities.
And Kiwanis Connects is the title, and you can watch us every Friday morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Pacific time, right on Facebook or WWDB-TV. Say goodbye.
Bye, everybody. Aloha.
All right, welcome back to Aaron's Hour. Thank you for watching. Frank Parrillo joins me. Multiple years experience in the acting and writing world, and really a go-to guy for not only his vast knowledge, but if you think you want to get into acting or screenwriting, or I just saw the other day that, and we talked about this before, you were directing a show for two sports guys, one of which I know,
Right.
Marlon Greenwood.
He's a great guy.
So you do a lot of directing too?
Not a lot of it.
Well, some.
I do some of it. I was asked to do that, and
Okay.
it was a great opportunity for me.
Okay.
I had two great gentlemen when I, of course, already knew.
Right.
Jackson Crisp with the New York Jets,
Yes.
was the other one.
Mhm.
I didn't know him too well, but we got to sit down a little while before the show. We got to know each other.
Okay.
I was there originally just to coach,
Okay.
and then they're like, "Okay, can you just direct this thing?"
Just do it for
Yeah,
us.
just do it for us. Just make it happen, okay?
Absolutely. This is what we want. Just do it. So you do that as well. So of all the things, I mean, you've written scripts and you've acted and now you're teaching. Let's say the top 3 things that you do that you love the most from top to bottom. Let's go with number 3. Let's go up. What's your third favorite thing that you do with your experience?
Acting,
Okay. Second.
producing,
Okay. And of course, the first one,
teaching.
teaching.
I'm just that predictable, aren't I?
Before I forget, let's give everybody the website for you and the school and stuff.
You can reach us at www.dreamtracksactingacademy.com. We also do modeling, acting. We do just about anything you want to do.
And it's Dream Tracks, Dream spelled correctly, but TRAXS X.
Thank you. That's correct.
We don't make things easy for anybody to find
No.
stuff on the internet.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, John's got to type it in and put it on the crawl because there is a production company, Dream Track, isn't there? There's Dream something. I thought there was the name Dream Track or Dream Track spelled the normal way for the word track. Just sounds familiar to me for some reason. I don't know why. Could just be my brain. I don't know.
Well, I know that Steven Spielberg's company has a dream in it, but
That's what
yeah, I
I'm
don't know.
thinking
I
of.
can't
That-
remember.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks,
that's
that's
it, with
it,
that
yeah.
desk lamp that
Yeah,
jumps around up there.
No, that's Pixar.
But still him, isn't it? Isn't he part of that? Spielberg?
I think so. I don't know.
Just cut out the last 5
Yeah,
seconds of the
thank
show,
you.
folks. Don't worry about it. Now, you've had the opportunity to work with, sign, whatever terminology you want to use, Tom Arnold,
Mhm.
John Ratzenberger, of course, Cheers fame, right? Cliffy. What was it like to work with those guys?
It was great working with them. Obviously, they're seasoned professionals. They come on the set, and one of the things I wanted some of my actors who were also in the movies to learn was, hey, look at these guys. They're always professional. They're
Right.
always ready to go.
Right.
They're always in character. They take this art very, very, very seriously,
Mhm.
and so. Both of them were great to work with. They came in, they did what they were supposed to do. John was a great guy.
Mhm.
We had two young girls who had never acted as a lead before.
Okay.
And he was so kind to them, so willing to help them out. And we got that movie out on distribution before we actually got Tom's out, which we shot
Okay.
Tom's first.
Okay.
But we actually ended up getting that out first, and it's done really well on.
And what were the
IMDb.
movie names?
So the one we did with Tom Arnold is One Interrogation,
Okay.
and the one we did with John Ratzenberger was Project Puppies for Christmas.
Project Puppies for Christmas.
Yes, and it's a great movie. You can find it on Prime. You can find it on Vudu. You can just about find it anywhere right now.
Voodoo. We have the crawl of the web address, www.dreamtracksactingacademy.com. You see it there. For all of you who are listening on the app right now, I do encourage you to go back to Facebook or YouTube or Roku. Roku will be available in about 72 hours. I don't want you to stop driving or trying to write and drive as you're listening to us.
Pull over.
Pull over, or at least wait to get to a red light.
Yeah.
Dream Tracks, that's TRAXX, actingacademy.com. Frank is obviously on there, but there's information on all the trainers, all the actors, many of the projects. It's a great website to get a lot of information. And I'm just, I relish the fact that I'm proud I could say that I'm now one of your students because I do enjoy the class. We have a good time. You and I, yes, we're business.
Yes.
But when we have that common ground of a conversation,
Right.
it's just like we're in the back of the classroom. Don't let the teachers see us back there. And so we have a lot in common, which for me makes it easier for me to connect to you and just soak up your knowledge. So what do you have any projects that you're working on right now besides the acting or anything with your partner or any of the other facets within the business that you're actively looking for? Let's talk about what we can do to get people involved.
Well, we always have something going on.
Right.
We just had a TV show that is on Tubi. It's called
Okay.
Shot.
Okay.
And we had auditions there. It was an open audition. Anybody could have came.
Okay.
And we got 3 of our students of the 6 episodes they're going to shoot. 3 of our students got cast. So
Oh,
we're
right
really
on.
excited about that. And then there was a short, independent film came through.
Okay.
And we held auditions for that, which was also open.
Mhm.
And all my students, Dream Track students, I should say, I don't
Right.
want to seem possessive here.
Dream Tracks.
Because it does take a team.
Absolutely.
It takes a team. Got cast in all the leads
Okay.
for the most part. The biggest thing we got going on right now is that we're taking about 37 people to New York to one of the biggest shows for actors showcases.
Okay.
We're going to take all these people to IMTA in New York.
Okay.
Over 200 talent managers, agents, casting directors there to look at them.
Okay.
We're going to be putting them in front of them as models. We're going to be putting them in front of them as talent.
Right
and
on.
so for the last several months, we had just been like pounding the school with these
Sure.
these classes, and we're really excited. We think we're going to go in there and just
Blow it away.
clean sweep. Yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
going to
good.
clean sweep.
Well, maybe one day I'll be on that track. Now I met your partner,
Yeah.
lovely lady.
Oh.
She would, what I laughed when I met her. I said, "Look, Frank can handle the words that'll come out of my mouth, but boy, you'll have a lot to do with this because getting the shine down and everything." But no, and sitting there, and usually I get to the school early because I come from school, so I get to hear the interaction. And sometimes partners don't always get along,
Mhm.
but I can honestly say it seems on the outside, you and your partner, you guys work very well together. You obviously have the interest of the student at heart. And I think that's what makes a big difference for a lot of people.
Well, my business partner is one of my best friends.
Oh, okay.
And she's a brilliant lady.
Why don't you give her name so people know who we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, sorry. Hi. My business partner, Natalie Stuff, she's a brilliant lady, smart business-wise. I mean, I've always been a very creative guy. I love to teach, but there has to be somebody that actually kind of can run the business to make it happen. I mean, sometimes people are going to give me all the credit because the students are doing well or something like that.
Sure.
But you understand that when a business is running, you got to have that person back there who is making sure all these things are happening. And she goes way above and beyond.
Right.
And then people call for opportunities, and she's really good to get them to come into the school, see the students, and that's a really big point.
Well, that's good because it's obvious. I mean, like I said, I've seen it in the office. I hear when you guys, talk across the doors. You guys use the Yellicom from one office to the other.
Exactly.
But I'm evident to it. And then when you have other people working in the back, which I have never crossed the line to go back, but you have other people back there.
Right, and then we have our modeling director, Dawn.
Okay.
And Dawn's got way more years even than me in this business of getting people seen, getting them recognized, those types of things. And she's great. And we do our photography. We take the photography, we sell the packages and stuff like that. So we got a great team.
Good.
It's a great team of people who really care about the people that are coming into the place.
Right on. By the way, I'm the protagonist because it's my show. So I'm the protagonist.
You are the protagonist.
You're protagonist too. He's the antagonist back there.
He is the antagonist.
All right. A couple more crazy questions as we begin to start wrapping up. So favorite vacation of all time?
Wow. Now you're throwing some curveballs.
I told you I would.
You did tell me.
These are curveballs. I gave it a fastballs before. Now we're a couple of sliders, a couple of curveballs.
I think the best vacation I ever took was I was involved in a youth group when I was a child at a church.
Okay.
Not a child, I was a teenager, and we went out to Grand Estes, Colorado.
Really? And what was great about it? I mean,
it's just I had never really gone camp. We weren't a camping family, right? So, it was a great experience.
Okay.
The people who were there were very devoted to what they did, and they were very caring about who was there. And it just kind of prepared me for my Army experience because, you get up in the morning, sometimes it's your job to cook the breakfast and, for all these people.
Sure.
But it was just, it was really meaningful to me because it was a bunch of good people who cared about each other a lot, love for God they had. And like I said, I never went camping before. So here I am in this area sitting around a campfire for the first time.
There you go.
We never went camping.
Right. No. Well, when you come from where we come from, camping is usually not really in the dictionary. I mean, you can go to northern Jersey. There were some great hills and mountains, and there is some camping sites. But where we come from the, what do they call the jungle? The paved jungle or whatever that phrase is.
Asphalt jungle.
There you go. I knew John would help me. Yeah, you don't see many camping sites.
No. My dad's idea of going camping was throw us all in the back of the station wagon. Go to the double feature.
That's right. Or nowadays, my wife says we're just going to go to Holiday Inn Select to camp. Anyway, bucket list item where you'd like to go someday.
I've had so many great experiences. I think if I had a bucket list of where I'd like to go, I think Australia.
Okay.
I just want to see what it wants to feel like when you're upside down. And you don't know it.
Right, day and night. Yeah, exactly. That's where you're hanging on, you're walking on your hands.
Right, yeah.
All right. What's the next question? Oh, if there was any sport, real or fake, in the Olympics that you would get a gold medal in, what would that be?
Talking.
I would hope in your profession. I mean, acting and instruction. I mean, there's a lot of talking needed there.
Probably, I would make it better as a cheerleader.
Okay.
Because that's what I love doing. I like cheering people on.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Do they have that in the Olympics yet?
Doesn't matter. It's your Olympics.
Oh, that's right.
It's your Olympics. Anything you want. Mine would be how many grocery bags I can carry in from the car without having to go back.
That's good. Yeah.
That would be mine.
Yeah. That's just an act of laziness.
No, I just want to show my wife my biceps. I work out a CrossFit, doggone it. I don't show them off very often. But I buy the laziness thing because when it's hot, how many times you want to go in and out of the house?
You do.
Especially through a hot garage.
I don't care if it's cold, nice, or anything. I'm taking as many bags as I can.
It's like, honey, get the door. Can't you open it yourself? No. That's funny. All right. What was your least favorite chore as a kid growing up?
The dishes.
Why?
Because I never liked that feeling of having my hands get all wrinkled.
So you don't do a lot of swimming then, I take it.
I don't do a lot of swimming. Yes, I would not
Never
be
be a
winning that
dentist?
event. No.
I don't want to be a dentist. Okay, well that's fair. All right.
And then my first job was a paper boy. My second job, and I spent the most time doing that, was a dishwasher.
See, that's karma.
Yeah, it
that's
is.
why I'll never forget.
Well, because you can stack it into those things.
Well,
and
that's
then
true.
push it through.
You had a dishwasher,
Right, but
Right,
you,
okay.
not everything. You had to wash
That's
something.
true. That's very true. I remember one time as a kid, my grandfather was washing the dishes. We were over there for lunch. They were eating on paper plates. So what does my grandfather do as a joke? He's washing a paper plate and puts it in the rack. I'm like, Pop, what are you doing? He said, oh, I'm sorry. And he took it out. Oh, my goodness. All right. Favorites. I'm going to give you a hint here, and I know you know my answer, but what's your favorite hero of all time? Superman or Batman? Batman or Batman? I'm sorry.
I would have to say Batman.
Okay, good answer. No, seriously.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, why is that?
I don't know. Even since I was a little kid, I just really liked Spider-Man.
He's great. So I will say he's got a great catchy theme song.
Yes, he does.
Right, I mean,
yes,
yeah.
I know the one from the 60s.
Well,
Do you remember that one?
Spider-Man does whatever a spider
Right,
can.
you see that?
Spins a web. Okay. Anyway, I digress. And I'm ashamed to call myself a Batman fan, and I know that theme song. Well, how hard is it to remember? No. You know what I'm saying? So it doesn't take much work to remember that one. All right, a couple more questions. I'll let you.
Pow!
Pow!
Yeah.
Kapow! Zam! Wow!
But I mean, I loved Batman. We loved to watch it
Yeah.
when we were younger.
Matter of fact, it came up one of the videos we were talking about, right?
Yeah.
As the antagonist with Bane.
The funny thing was that I had a real kind of like competitive relationship with one of my brothers.
Okay.
So when he liked Batman and Aquaman and all DC, I had to switch to
You had to go to
Marvel.
Marvel. That's right. That's a good point. You got to stay on that other side.
Yeah,
All right.
same.
But see, a little bit of a serious question here. When the day comes
Mhm.
that you, sir, are going to be standing at the pearly gates and the
Mhm.
maitre d' is there to welcome you and greet you,
Mhm.
what is it you want to hear the maitre d' say to you as they welcome you into the restaurant of heaven?
Well done, good and faithful servant.
There you go.
There.
All right. Can't do any better than that. www.dreamtracksactingacademy.com is where you'll find Frank Parrillo. He is, as far as I'm concerned, the best acting teacher, but then again, it's the only one I've ever had, so I really don't have anything to compare to. No, I'm kidding. I enjoy my time with him. So if you ever think you have an inkling for modeling, acting, what other services can you teach people within all of that?
None
Just
of-
acting and modeling.
Yeah. Anything else from that? We're digressing. Yeah.
Now, we gave out the website. Is there a phone number that people can have to call
Yeah.
direct to?
They can call our toll-free number if they're out of the state, 877 acting. No.
You don't call yourself off at the end.
No. 877-4 acting 4, right?
There you go. I don't know. Don't look at me. It's your number.
Let me give you the number 702-829-4104. I don't know.
It's on the website.
It's on the website. You're
Let's
looking
go
at
to
remember
Dream
that. Don't you ask me all these hard questions. You finally got to the easy ones, and I can't answer it. This is horrible.
I just became the antagonist, folks. We switch roles there. Oh my goodness. Just look it up online.
We write ours on the wall.
Yes,
You're right.
that's right. Exactly.
It is 8774 acting. That's our
All
toll-free
right, there you
number.
go. Give it.
There you
Look,
go.
they're located across from Palace Station in the offices behind the McDonald's over there. Give you a rough idea.
Yes, we
Just
are.
look him up. He's on Facebook too. Just look him up. You can always talk to him there too as well. All right. Anything else you want to share before we say goodbye? Because the quarter's running out of the meter.
No, is there any questions from anybody out there?
I've been monitoring. Everybody's been really attentive and just listening to the information that we're talking
Oh, I'm
about.
sure they're confused now.
If they're not, they will. I'm looking ahead to see who my guest is next week. And I have a guest that I haven't reached out to, but it is somebody that John gave me. And what is that lady's name again?
Yes.
Greer.
Greer Childers.
There you go. John knows. I have to call her this week and set it up. Anyway, tune in because she's a health guru, right? She's in the health, right? Mid to late 70s.
Body flex breathing.
That's what I said. Body flex breathing. It should be fun because with my health transition and everything, this should be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to say one thing. I want to shout out to my sister, Colleen
Yes.
Meyer. Dr. Colleen Meyer, sorry. Just always being my biggest supporter and the person I can go to when I feel like my world's falling apart.
There you go.
I love you.
Absolutely. Everybody has that. My wife is my biggest supporter, sister. I mean, whoever it is, the fact that we have somebody to stand behind us and not laugh at us is even as important. So thanks for coming in, sir.
It was fun.
Great pleasure. Frank
So I'll
Parrillo, check him
memorize
out.
my memorize my numbers before I come in.
We'll call somebody in and hold cue cards. For
At my age, I need it.
There you go. All right, you're watching Aaron's Hour. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you want to go back and visit it, go under the videos tab, both on YouTube as well as on Facebook, or just wait 72 hours after Memorial Day weekend. Pull it up on the Roku channel for WWDB TV. Listen, have a safe, happy Memorial Day. Whatever you do, enjoy it. And as always, be kind to everybody. Why is that? Hey, we're all we have. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week. Aaron's Hour. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.